Today is the first day of Passover for all my Jewish friends. So today I thought I would do something different. I know I do a lot of singing and book reading, but today I thought I'd make a recipe with you. So I have my blender. You are supposed to use a food processor. I do not have one. If you have one at home, use a food processor. Have mom and dad get it for you. My ingredients, so we're going to make har-o-set. And that is a traditional Passover food that you would have at dinner. The dinner is called the Seder. So we are going to make that. The ingredients are, I have 2 apples. 1 apple I've already cut up and put in my blender. I'm going to cut up this apple. I'm going to peel it with my peeler and then cut it into big chunks and put it inside the food processor or your blender. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to pause the video and then come back when it's all done and I'll peel this. You might need help if you're too young to use a peeler and a knife. Okay, so you might need an adult or a bigger brother or sister to help you. Okay? Okay, I peeled the apple and I cut it into chunks and I'm putting them in my blender. Okay, I have all my peels here. If you don't have a whole apple, you could put in applesauce. I'm making a small batch, so I did 2 whole apples, so you can put as much applesauce depending on how much you want to make. My next ingredient that will go in the blender is cinnamon. We're going to use a half teaspoon, not a tablespoon, half teaspoon. So this is a half, this is a tablespoon, it's a big one. My tablespoons, I don't know if you can see, they have doggy prints on them. So that's a tablespoon. This is a teaspoon. We're using a half teaspoon. It's got a 1 and then a slash and then a 2. All right, so we're going to use half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to make it nice and flat and level. And I'm going to put that inside my blender. Just a little bit. Then I have 2.5 ounces of grape juice. And I'm going to pour that in. Okay, now I don't have any at home, but if you wanted to, you could add walnuts into this, or raisins, some people like that, or dates if you have them. Those are very common foods to add to this. I didn't have any of those in my house, but most people would have cinnamon and apples and grape juice. All right, so we're going to put the lid on, and then I'm going to turn this on and mash it all up into a chunky like applesauce. So this is really loud, so I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to start this and then I'll come back. Okay? All right, I have finished blending up our har-o-set. So now I can take it out of the blender. Oh, I got a little bit of chunkies in there, so I think I'm going to stir this around and I'm going to blend it again. So it's got, you can kind of see, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to blend this one more time. Okay, I blended it up again. You can see, looks and smells delicious. So I'm going to pour some into a little cup and I'm going to try this. Now I've never made this and I've never had this before because I don't celebrate Passover, but I have many friends who do, and I know I have many small friends who do. So I wanted to try celebrating with you. So I'm going to try. I have it in my little cup. That's really good. Again, you can add walnuts in it, or raisins, or dates. And so if you want to write down the ingredients, I used 2 apples. I put in half a teaspoon. Remember, that's a 1, a dash, and a 2. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And my dog is barking. And I used 2.5 ounces of grape juice, which is just about 1/3 of a cup. And I put it all into my processor and I mushed it all up and put it in a cup. And if you wanted to, you could add your walnuts and your raisins or dates into that and mash that up. And enjoy. Happy Passover.